Pay attention to Evan Mercer, 27 years old, standing in a mall food court in Baltimore on April 3, 2024. It's 5:09 p.m. on a Thursday evening. He had less than 3 hours left to live, because across from him, holding a bouquet of flowers in a tight red dress that makes her stand out in a sea of ordinary people, is Una Hale. She's 29 years old, a powerlifter with shoulders that could crack walnuts and anxiety so severe she hasn't slept through the night in 6 years. On this day, Evan planned to collect his final trophy photo and disappear back into the digital shadows where men like him thrive. On this day, Una planned to prove she was lovable. Only one of them would leave this mall alive. This is the story of how a routine first date became a crime scene, a 3-day nightmare, and the moment when the predator became his own last witness. Evan Mercer wasn't a serial killer. He wasn't even a violent criminal. On paper, he was just another underemployed graphic designer scraping by in Baltimore, living with 2 roommates in a cramped apartment in Fells Point, bouncing between freelance gigs and delivery apps. But beneath that surface lurked something darker. Evan had discovered a shortcut to the one thing his fragile ego craved: power. He couldn't get respect through success, couldn't command attention through talent, so he found another way. He became a collector. For 18 months, Evan had been running a private group chat called The Exhibition, with 11 other men scattered across 3 states. The premise was simple and sick: catfish women online, earn their trust, extract intimate or vulnerable photos, then post them for points and ridicule. The bigger the woman, the funnier the reveal. The more desperate she seemed, the higher the score. Evan wasn't the founder, but he was the top contributor. He'd perfected a system: create a burner Instagram account, follow niche fitness communities, target women who posted about mental health struggles, mirror their language, love bomb them for weeks, then ask for just one photo in something revealing. Most women said no, but the ones who said yes, Evan immortalized them in humiliation. When he found Una Hale's profile in a lifting forum in January 2024, he knew he'd found his masterpiece. Una Hale wasn't just strong, she was terrifyingly strong. At 5'10" and 210 pounds, she could deadlift 405, squat 315, and outwork every man in her gym. But all that physical power couldn't quiet the chaos in her brain. Diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder at 19, Una had spent a decade trying every medication, every therapy, every coping mechanism the internet promised would fix her. Nothing worked except iron. When she lifted, the noise stopped. When she trained, she had control. The gym became her religion, and her body became proof that she could survive anything. Except loneliness. Una had been single for 4 years. Dating apps were brutal. Men either fetishized her size or were intimidated by it. She deleted Tinder twice, reinstalled it 3 times, and finally gave up. Then in January, a guy named Evan Cole started commenting on her form videos in a Reddit lifting thread. He was different. He didn't make creepy jokes about being crushed. He talked about discipline. He praised her dedication. He asked thoughtful questions about her programming. And when they moved to direct messages, he opened up about his own struggles with anxiety. He told her he understood what it felt like to fight your own mind every single day. It felt like fate. For 3 months, they texted daily. He sent her motivational quotes in the morning. She sent him progress photos after workouts. He asked about her family, her job as a logistics coordinator, her dreams. She told him things she'd never told anyone, about her fear of being unlovable, about her belief that her body was both her armor and her prison. And Evan, with surgical precision, turned every vulnerability into leverage. By March, he had dozens of photos of Una, in her gym clothes, in casual outfits, in the red dress she'd bought specifically because he said red would look incredible on her. He scheduled the post for April 4th in the exhibition chat. The caption was already written: 3 months of Riz for this beast mode reveal. Wedding dress next? All he needed was one final photo, something he could present as proof he'd met her in person, that he'd closed the deal. That's when he suggested the date. Thursday, April 3rd, started like any other day for Una. She woke up at 5:30 a.m., hit the gym by 6, finished her session by 7:45, showered, and arrived at her desk job by 9. Routine was survival. But today felt different, because tonight was the night. Evan had flown in from Philadelphia. He actually lived 20 minutes away to finally meet her. They'd agreed on a public place, the Arundel Mills Mall food court, casual and safe. She'd taken the afternoon off, gone home early, changed into the red dress, and practiced what she'd say when she saw him. She bought flowers at a grocery store because she wanted to do something bold, something that showed confidence even though her hands were shaking. At 4:47 p.m., she texted her best friend Kira, "About to meet him. Wish me luck." Kira responded immediately, "You better text me every 30 minutes or I'm calling the cops, LOL." "For real though, you got this." Una sent back a heart emoji. It was the last message Kira would receive from her for 3 days. Evan arrived early. He scoped out the exits, chose a table near the corner with a clear view of the entrance, and set up his phone at an angle that would capture Una's arrival without her noticing. He wanted that moment on video, the second she walked in, holding flowers, searching for him with hopeful eyes. That clip alone would be worth 50 points in the chat. At 5:09 p.m., Una walked through the entrance. Evan stood up. She smiled. The CCTV camera mounted above the Chick-fil-A counter captured everything. Una in red, Evan in tan, two people meeting for the first time, looking like any other awkward first date in America. Except nothing about this was normal. They sat, they talked. Evan played his role perfectly, complimenting her dress, thanking her for the flowers, making self-deprecating jokes to put her at ease. Una relaxed. For the first time in months, the noise in her head went quiet. This was real. He was real. She wasn't unlovable. But 20 minutes in, Evan made his move. "Hey, this place is kinda loud. Want to walk around the mall? Maybe grab coffee somewhere quieter?" Una hesitated. Kira's voice echoed in her head. "Stay public." But Evan's smile was so warm, so genuine. She said yes. They walked toward the parking garage. Evan suggested they take his car to a Starbucks a few blocks away, somewhere they could actually hear each other talk. Una's anxiety spiked. Her phone buzzed. 30 men check-in. You alive? Una started typing a response, but Evan leaned in close. "Everything okay?" She pocketed her phone. "Yeah, all good." She got in his car. That was the moment everything changed. Evan drove, but not to Starbucks. He took back roads, talking the whole time to distract her. By the time Una realized they weren't headed to a coffee shop, they were pulling into the driveway of a small house in a residential neighborhood she didn't recognize. "Where are we?" she asked. Evan's smile didn't falter. "My cousin's place. He's out of town. Said I could crash here while I'm visiting. I just need to grab my charger real quick. Then we'll go. 2 minutes, I promise." Una's gut screamed at her to get out, to run, to call someone. But Evan was already out of the car, already unlocking the front door, already waving her inside. "Come on, I don't want to leave you waiting in the car like a weirdo." She followed him in. The door closed behind her, and that's when Una saw it. On the kitchen counter, a prescription bottle with a woman's name, Crystal Larry, Evan's wife. "Who's Crystal?" Una's voice was steady, but her hands were curling into fists. Evan froze. His brain scrambled for an excuse, but the look on Una's face told him she already knew. He pivoted fast. "Okay, look, I can't explain." But Una was done listening. She grabbed her phone to leave, to call an Uber, to get the hell out. That's when Evan made his second mistake. He grabbed her wrist. "Just wait, let me explain." Una Hale had been grabbed before, by men at bars, by strangers on the street, by her own father during arguments. Every time, she'd frozen. Every time, the anxiety had swallowed her whole. But this time, something else took over. This time, her body remembered every hour she'd spent learning to be strong. She twisted her arm free, planted her feet, and shoved Evan backward with both hands. He stumbled, caught off balance, and fell hard into the edge of the kitchen counter. The impact drove the air out of his lungs. He tried to stand, tried to yell, tried to reach for his phone. Una didn't think. She moved on instinct, on rage, on 3 months of manipulation collapsing into a single moment of clarity. She grabbed him by the collar, yanked him upright, and locked her arm around his neck. Evan clawed at her forearm. His legs kicked. His phone clattered to the floor. Una squeezed. She felt his body go rigid, then slack. She felt the moment everything stopped, and when she finally let go, Evan Mercer crumpled to the floor like a discarded jacket. She stood there, breathing hard, staring at his body. The noise in her head roared back louder than ever. What did I just do? What did I just do? She needed to leave. She needed to call someone, but her hands were shaking so badly she couldn't unlock her phone. That's when Evan's phone, still on the floor, lit up with a notification. A group chat. The exhibition. Una picked it up. She scrolled. And she saw everything. Her photos, other women's photos, the comments, the scores, the scheduled post with her name and face. Evan hadn't loved her. He'd hunted her. Una made a decision. She would erase him. She would undo this. She grabbed Evan's body, dragged it to her car. She'd driven separately and parked down the street, a safety precaution Kira had drilled into her, and loaded him into her trunk. She took his phone, his wallet, his keys. She drove. She didn't know where she was going, only that she couldn't stop. For 3 days, Una Hale drove through Maryland, Virginia, and Pennsylvania, sleeping in her car at rest stops, keeping Evan's body wrapped in a tarp in her trunk, convinced that if she just kept moving, she could outrun what she'd done. But Evan had already become his own last witness. His phone, still powered on in Una's possession, was pinging cell towers every few miles. His cloud backup was auto-uploading location data, message logs, and photos. And the scheduled post in the exhibition went live on April 4th, exactly as planned, tagging Una's Reddit username and including a meeting her tonight timestamp that didn't match reality. When Evan's roommate reported him missing on April 5th, police immediately pulled his phone records and found the trail. The burner accounts, the group chat, and a breadcrumb path of GPS coordinates leading in a loop through 3 states. On April 6th, Maryland State Police pulled over Una Hale at a rest stop outside Hagerstown. She didn't resist. She didn't speak. They found Evan's body in her trunk, found his phone in her glove box, found the evidence of everything he'd done and everything she'd done in response. In her first interview, Una told the truth. He manipulated me. He humiliated me. He grabbed me, and I defended myself. Detectives pressed for details. She described the chokehold, the panic, the 3-day spiral. I didn't mean to kill him, she said, but I'm not sorry he's dead. Prosecutors charged her with second-degree murder. Una's defense team argued temporary insanity, extreme emotional disturbance, self-defense. They presented Evan's exhibition chat logs as evidence of predatory behavior, showed the jury the scheduled post that mocked Una's body, and called expert witnesses to explain how sustained psychological manipulation could trigger a dissociative break. But the prosecution had one unbeatable fact. Una had 3 days to call the police, to confess, to stop. She didn't. That wasn't self-defense. That was concealment. The jury deliberated for 11 hours. They found Una Hale guilty of voluntary manslaughter, acquitting her of murder but convicting her of killing in the heat of passion without adequate cooling-off time. The judge sentenced her to 18 years in prison. Evan's family filed a wrongful death lawsuit. Una's family filed a countersuit against the exhibition members for conspiracy and emotional distress, but most of the men had used burner identities and disappeared. In 2025, a digital safety nonprofit called Last Witness Project formed in Evan's name, ironically advocating for stronger laws against catfishing, revenge porn, and online harassment. Una's case became a flashpoint in debates about digital abuse, self-defense, and whether the legal system adequately protects victims of psychological manipulation. Some called her a murderer. Others called her a survivor. Most agreed the truth was somewhere in between. Evan Mercer is remembered as both a victim of violence and an architect of cruelty. His final post, auto-uploaded after his death, remains screenshot and shared as a cautionary tale about the consequences of treating human beings like trophies. Una Hale is remembered as a woman who broke, who killed, and who now spends her days in a Maryland prison lifting weights in a yard surrounded by fences, still trying to quiet the noise in her head. If you engage in online relationships, verify identities before meeting in person. Share your plans with someone you trust. Trust your instincts when something feels wrong. And if you're being manipulated, catfished, or exploited, document everything and report it immediately. Evan Mercer weaponized intimacy and paid with his life. Una Hale defended herself and lost her freedom. Neither outcome was inevitable, and both could have been prevented. What could have stopped this tragedy? How do we protect people from predators who hide behind screens? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if someone you know is being manipulated online, don't wait until it's too late to speak up.